Hey folks, Brian. We played Elderath tonight, and we've been adjusting our play schedule based upon some other schedule adjustments some of our players have had to make. Excuse me. So our sessions are shorter. Anyway, so last time we stepped through the portal, came down to the valley, and Thermo was going back when the mist thing appears, and Wes had his culture shock thing with the Far Horizons memories stuff with the whole smoke and tendrils. So he collapses in a stress-induced coma, and combat ensues. Emerald, his familiar, does try to wake him up and is finally successful on round 3. There is some discussion, and it's all in the live play, about weapon hit point values. And there was also some discussion on strike rank, psi strike rank, dex strike rank, whip strike rank, how they all had together. But in BRP, the hit points of weapons went back up to what they were at Runequest 2. So a short sword has 20 hit points. And that's different than RQG or even RQ3, where we were initially playing our game from. So, I'm going to mention the GM. Maybe we should go back through and double check all of these things now, because I know that will certainly make Wes's rapier that much stronger, and his dagger, his parrying dagger, should go up as well. But we'll see. Okay. Wes finally does wake up, orients himself, see what's going on. He moves over towards where Thurmond was, because there's this. You can see it in live play, right, where everybody's kind of lined up. And Wes wants to launch that lightning bolt into as many people as possible. So he comes to Thurmond, sees where Thurmond is. And Thurmond had just burned 2 of the demon things to death. So there's nobody right there. So he goes a little further so he can get that straight line on 3 of the guys. Fires the lightning bolt stored in his rapier. And since you don't really know how successful you were with casting the spell when you input it into the staff, we roll for it at the time it's used. And so we roll it, and it was a 97. Automatic failure. Nothing happened. Okay. It's kind of funny during the combat. Even though Thurmond burned up 2 of the demons fairly quickly, his spells fizzled at least 3 times. And it's kind of funny because the demons fumbled like 3 or 4 times as well, including one whose fumble roll was a 100, and so it was roll 3 more times kind of thing. It was hilarious. During the combat, Hjalmar does get beat up enough that he's down to 1 hit point, and so he's trying to get out of this cone of Constitution saving throws they had to be making. And so he goes to do a grapple against the demon he's been fighting in order to get out of the way and to get him further. So he does this grapple thing, and of course, no system's grapple rules are easy, right? But Hjalmar ends up getting squeezed in the abdomen for at least 2 points of damage. He only had 1 hit point left, so he goes unconscious. Raymond's been fighting demon number 1 and started fighting demon number 5 so he can get to Hjalmar, because Hjalmar was with demon number 5. Wes finally gets a lightning bolt off, extra charged, to the 3 guys, but the GM was making resistance rolls. But an Iron Crown is an elemental attack. It just does damage. There is no resistance roll. I'll talk to him about that later as well. But I didn't want to bring it up at the time. So Wes runs forward and starts to engage number 1 with his rapier and dagger. He made his dexterity increase roll finally, so his dexterity is up high enough that he can actually get 2 attacks in with his dagger and his rapier in a round. So he's getting these double attacks every round now. But these demons have got like a 90% dodge rate or something, and plus they've got at least this one has 13 points of armor. So they're dodging left and right, and the few times that Wes can actually hit, he's not getting through anything. So he goes back to firing lightning bolts again. Um, and Thurmond uh, tried throwing a couple of lightning bolts, and he started doing some kind of fire spell at these guys, doing damage to them. Okay, once we actually dispatch one of these creatures, they kind of fall to the ground and then turn the inky, tendrily mist kind of stuff and disappear. We do manage to get rid of all of them. And by this point, it's getting dark, and Thurman does not want to try to go back through the passageways. So we head down the path towards the village. We get to the village. It's late. It's dark. Rap on the inn door, and there's no answer. It's locked. So we go check out one of the watchtowers. Hey, the inn's kind of closed up. What's going on? Just rap louder. Okay, so we go back, knock louder. Sure enough, somebody does finally show up. It is Gus and his wife Huldis are the two that run the inn. And there's a little bickering at first. What are you doing so late? Where'd you come from? What are you doing here? There's no boats coming in. And we came from the side of the island. It's late. Yeah, we know. We're trying to get in, get something warm and dry, and a place to sleep and eat. So he lets us in finally, and there's some leftover soup that he heats up, and there's a fire. So we all crash in the common room, except for Thurmond, who gets his own room. There's some discussion on these demon things. Thurman's only heard and references as something to do with the ways, and these occurrences are rare, or rather, recordings of such things are rare. So perhaps it's because they go so poorly, which we all understand. But these creatures have appeared on both sides of passages, either upon entering or upon exiting. There's no understanding as to what causes their occurrence. And obviously they're not natives to this plane. The best descriptions he has of them is that they are some sort of distorted elven forms. That's as far as we got tonight. Happy gaming.